G'day guys, my name's Chris. This is iRideTaz and welcome back. Welcome back to our VL250 bobber build. Today we're going to start by removing this switch block and start this process of slimming the bars down. In the next video I'm going to remove that switch block. So it's sort of connected. They're two independent videos, but it's sort of a two-part series if you like. Just slimming down the handlebars. We're going to remove the switches and put them here using a bunch of two-way, three-way and momentary switches. I've only ever done this once before and it looked fantastic, but it is a little bit fiddly. I didn't want anything particularly physical for today because it's hot. I've been ripping up carpet and renovating the house, so I'm pretty buggered. Yeah, so let's do something fiddly rather than physical. The biggest thing I'm worried about is actually the choke, but we'll get around that. The bike doesn't generally need it. Now that I've fiddled with the air-fuel ratios and things like that, it does start pretty easily. But yeah, we may or may not relocate the choke today. So guys, before we get into this, I'd just like to thank my sponsors, choppedandbob.com.au. Go to their website, check out their awesome merch, support an Aussie business, and support me by using iRideTaz10 on checkout. Just also a special mention to Josh and Andy, who gave me 20 coffees on buymeacoffee.com/iRideTaz. For that, I reckon I could buy a cafe. So guys, thank you so much for your support. Now let's get on to removing this switch block. Okay, so for the left-hand switch block, you've got your indicators, and I will use a three-way switch. You've got your high-low beam, and I'll use a two-way switch. You've got your flash to pass, which I will just delete. You've got your clutch switch, which again I will delete. I've been riding long enough to not need that clutch switch. You've got your horn, which I'll use a momentary switch, and you've also got a choke, which is cable operated, which once I've removed the switch block, I'll work out how I'm going to relocate that. But at worst, I can just cut the casing and leave some exposed cable, and I can just pull that if I need to use the choke. Since I've messed with the air-fuel ratio, this bike starts really nicely. Stock, it's a bit tough, it runs lean, it doesn't have a carb heater, but since I've richened it up, it works really well. So we're going to need a Phillips head to remove this, and some side cutters to cut the wires. Just going to use a Phillips head. Remove that completely, and another Phillips head here. This will just allow that switch block to separate and be able to be removed from the bars. Cool, so that just separates there. We're going to cut our clutch switch there. Remove our what do you call it? Remove our choke there, and we're probably going to cut into the outer sheath here. Yep. And we're just going to cut this entire switch block off. So we've left enough tail there to see, and it leads in and it gives us the ability to see what goes where. So there's the clutch switch. We're not going to use that. Yeah, what we're going to do is just join them there, and then that will close the circuit in exactly the same way as pulling that. So realistically, we can cut those right back at the switch. Right, got a Phillips head here. And a Phillips head here. Yeah, so there's plenty of room behind here, particularly because this will come out there. Yeah, plenty of room in behind there to mount these switches. I reckon we cut, where are the side cutters? If we're mounting that there, I reckon we cut about here just to remove a lot of this. Okay, get that out of the way. And cut here. That one and that one we're going to join, because that will be our clutch switch delete. There we go. Our solder tube. Awesome. And our lighter. So we've got that one, we've got that sorted now, that's deleted. Now we're going to look in here, have a look at our high beam, low beam. If we take this out there, so take that out there. So you can see that orange red is for the flash to pass. Orange red, flash to pass. You can see orange, red, that's that one. So we're going to snip that back a bit and we're going to terminate it just with some heat shrink so it doesn't short on anything. Okay, so that. So yellow goes to red, but it also goes to a couple other things in here. So we're not going to terminate that one. I would hazard a guess to say that's just constant power or something like that. We'll pull this screw here. Pull this screw here. And this one. Cool. Okay, so down is low beam, up, down is low beam. Okay, yeah, so get rid of flashed pass. We've already sorted that. And we'll just snip this off here so we can see. Okay, so that's high, that's low. So we're going to replicate that with this three-way switch. High, low, that one, that one, that one. Did a quick experiment and I've used a cut down solder sleeve to solder this on, and I think it's worked an absolute treat. So we're going to use that rather than go up and get some bullet connectors to wire this switch in. So use one of these guys and I've cut it right back here. The middle one is yellow with a white stripe. Yellow with a white stripe. And we will push that onto the, where'd it go? There. And then that can go onto there. So. Cool, that's on there. And then this one will be the low beam switch. Oh, come on. Let's clip that. And push that down there. Awesome. So there is low beam, high beam, low beam, off. Cool. Off, low, high. Perfect. So just take this mechanism out so we can see what goes where. There's our indicator switch. Indicators are black, blue, green. Black, blue, and green. So we'll use a three-way switch again for indicators, and we'll use the same technique to mount it. Okay. Oh yeah, perfect. So, indicators are working. That must mean that is the horn, so that'll be a momentary switch. I was going to use a momentary switch for the horn, but I can't, because the ones that were sent are too small. They won't carry the current. So I'm going to use a two-way switch, which, yeah, it's not ideal, but it'll work. And down the track, we can change it to a bigger, more powerful, a bigger momentary switch that will hold the current. I'm not sure why I got such small ones sent, but we'll get to the bottom of it. Put that on there. So just going to put some heat shrink on ready. Push that on there. Yeah, again, this is not ideal, but I don't use the horn. It'll have one, so it'll be legal, yada yada, sorted. Awesome. So perfect. That is wired. So you've got indicators, high beam, low beam off, horn, and I've terminated the clutch switch and the flash to pass. Perfect. So that goes there like so. And we're going to drill 3 holes down there to 12 mil to mount the switches. Something like that. Let's do the middle one first. And about there. Yep. Get the 12 mil Christmas tree bit. Enlarge them out to 12. Okay, we'll put the horn at the top. That's the one we're going to use the least. There. It's a 3-way. Okay. Awesome. So that's that installed. Now we should work out where we're going to put the choke cable. Cool. So all I've done is cut the choke cable, and I'm just sealing it with some heat shrink just in case I do need to use it. I'll tuck it up in underneath the tank. So yeah, there is my choke cable. It won't fray, and I'll just tuck it in underneath there. If I need to use it, just pop it out, pull on it, pop it back in underneath the tank. That's actually a reasonable solution. I'm quite happy with that. It's there if I need it. It's completely hidden if I don't. Yeah, you can feel it come on. Awesome. Perfect. Yeah, that's it. We'll clean up, get ready for the reveal. Guys, that came out really well. I'm actually really happy with that. I was a little bit miffed that the momentary switch wasn't going to work, and I really couldn't be bothered going into the Super Cheap or somewhere like that to go and get one. My enthusiasm waned a bit through the project because it's pretty hot today, and I've been doing a fair few home renovations, so I'm pretty tired. So I just used a toggle switch to operate the horn, and it will work no problem. Let's give it a go. So horns on that one. Indicators are on this three-way switch. So middle is off. There's the left-hand indicators, there's the right-hand indicators, and then the bottom three-way switch is the headlight. It's low beam, off in the middle, high beam. As far as the choke goes, that is pretty stealth. I cut the cable and the shroud, and it's hidden there. I've sealed it with a solder sleeve. Whilst it's not the prettiest, it's certainly well hidden and there if I need it. Just pull it and it will sort of choke, and then I can let it off and I can just hide it back underneath. I will probably, once I remove all this and put the velocity stack on and clear up some room, I'll probably hard mount a metal tube and sleeve, or sort of a metal rod and sleeve to operate the choke once I've got a little bit more room to work with, and pretty that up. But realistically, that will do the job for as long as I need. The choke, now that I've tuned the bike, richened it up, it really doesn't need the choke. It'll start on the push of the button every time, no matter what the temperature is doing, and that's fantastic. So the choke can hide in under there. It's there if I need it. It's stealth. No one's really going to know. I'm happy enough with it. Whilst it's not the prettiest and it's not up to quite the usual standard that I do, it's certainly going to work, that's for sure. In the next video, I plan to do exactly the same on this side, but I'll be mounting a whiskey throttle, a single cable throttle system, and then moving all these switches from that switch block to that side cover, and clearing a lot of the rubbish from that part of the bike. Yeah, I couldn't be happier with it. I think it's come out really well. There's no petrol in it. I'm not putting fuel in it until I paint the tank, so I can't show you it starting, but believe me, it will. It'll turn over, no problem. So yeah, bottom line is that it'll start and ride no problem. I'm confident enough with that. But guys, it's pretty hot. I'm pretty keen to get inside and have a cup of tea. I'd like to thank my sponsors, choptobob.com.au, for their support. Great guys. Go to their website. It's coming up to Christmas. Grab yourself a bargain and then use iRideTaz10 on checkout to save yourself even more money. Yeah, thanks to Josh and Andrew for donating 20 coffees. I should be jittering by the end of that for the amount of caffeine I'm going to get. But if you want to join them and support me, go to buymeacoffee.com/iRideTaz. Like, comment, subscribe. Guys, I couldn't be happier with this build. It's really coming along nicely, and the bike itself is noticeably lighter. It will go quite nicely with all the stuff that I've removed. Yeah, I think it looks the goods. I think it looks very sort of choppery. It's ticking all the boxes that I'm after. Couldn't be happier with it. Love the little bike, and I'm sure my partner's going to love it as well. But guys, I'll leave you there. Videos are on Tuesday, 3:30 p.m. Australian Daylight Savings Time. I will see you next Tuesday. I'm out.